this week at Carolina. The verdict is in where the university stands in this year's rankings.
Plus, the rules may change for those caught cheating. We'll show you what changes could be in store for our honor system.
And they've got baby cows and homemade ice cream only a few minutes away from campus.
All that and more, Carolina Week starts now.
From the School of Journalism and Mass Communication at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, this is Carolina Week.
We begin with Honor and Integrity Week here at UNC Chapel Hill, being sponsored by student government. The idea is to educate people on campus about honor and to generate discussion. A variety of events have already been held and more are on the way. Good evening, I'm Alex Lawson.
And I'm Jenny McClendon. Thanks for joining us. Our top story tonight, Honor and Integrity Week. It comes at a time when the honor system is under scrutiny. The honor code might change, and that hasn't happened since it was written nearly 30 years ago. Carolina Week's Ashley Kendrick tells us what those changes could mean.
We do things behind closed doors. There is federal law that protects a student's right to privacy, so we have to hold these hearings in rooms where nobody can come and watch.
And with few people knowing anything about procedures in the judicial system on campus, many may not understand why it's facing changes.
There was a recognition that this process was written at a different time in our history when we had fewer students. I think we're a different type of institution.
So in December of last year, Chancellor Measer appointed a task force to do a critical review of the judicial system, and that group made proposals this past spring. Those possible changes are now being discussed. The task force will present the final report to Chancellor Measer December 1st. He'll decide which proposals should be implemented.
One of the things they proposed is the student advocate for honor, who will be like our outreach chairs right now and do a lot of the system education, keep the discussion going.
As we're going to be using a lower standard of guilt. It will be easier to prove that a student did something because we'll only have to get the court to about 75% sureness.
These are just a couple of the ideas listed in the 15 pages of the executive summary, so it's only natural that they'll be facing obstacles ahead.
If the faculty don't support it in their classroom by not talking about the honor system, by not applying the code, or by not holding people accountable under the code, then it won't work.
We don't talk about honor. We haven't talked about it in a really long time. It's all but disappeared from our vocabulary.
So honor and the honor system could be judged differently at Carolina in the future. In Chapel Hill, I'm Ashley Kendrick, Carolina Week.
One thing that hasn't changed is Carolina's reputation as the leading public university. New rankings from U.S. News and World Report list Carolina as the 5th best public university again this year. Carolina also holds on to the 28th spot overall. The report praises the university's financial value and first-year seminar program. The Kenan Flagler Business School came in 3rd among public universities. Carolina's MBA program is moving up the ranks, according to the Wall Street Journal. The magazine ranked the Kenan Flagler Master of Business Administration program 12th in the nation for 2002. MBA students are enjoying the 5-spot increase from last year. The school's administrators say there's a good explanation for the jump in ranking.
We have incredible faculty and just a great program, and so we're providing the skills to make these students marketable.
I think the quality of our staff made the difference. They worry about the details, they leave nothing to chance, they prepare students wonderfully for interviews.
Administrators add that MBA classrooms provide students with advanced facilities and real-world simulation techniques.
A new resolution regarding academic freedom has brought the controversy about the summer reading program to a close, for now. In a meeting Friday, the UNC System Board of Governors voted unanimously to support academic freedom. The vote comes after the BOG was criticized for not passing a similar resolution in early August. Academic freedom has been a hot topic since debate about the summer reading book, Approaching the Quran, first started. Student Body President Jen Dom says she's pleased with the BOG's decision.
It's important because it speaks to our core values as an institution and as a system that we do support academic freedom. I do think that the Board of Governors should have gotten that through the first time around, but I'm pleased to see that they finally got it together and passed the resolution.
BOG members say now that the issue of academic freedom has been resolved, they are ready to focus on other concerns such as university funding and tuition. Despite Carolina's budget crisis, the university did manage to keep a sought-after chemistry professor. That's after other schools tried to lure him away, but Carolina officials made him an offer he couldn't refuse. Joseph DeSimone is one of the most respected chemists on campus and across the country. And the News and Observer reports that in order to keep DeSimone here, university officials raised his 9-month salary from $27,000 to $150,000. Some people question the hefty raise at a time when the university is facing major budget cuts, but some of his students say he's worth the extra money.
He's a very animated professor. He makes class enjoyable. It's hard being at 8 o'clock in the morning, but I haven't yawned once in his class or looked at my watch, which is always a good sign.
DeSimone teaches mostly graduate-level courses here at Carolina, and as part of the deal, he will also continue to teach classes at NC State. Officials there chipped in $1 million toward DeSimone's new research equipment.
Carolina is attracting more than just top-notch professors. We were the first to tell you that world-famous entertainer Bill Cosby will speak at spring commencement on May 18th. After last year's controversy surrounding commencement speakers, senior class officers decided to start the search early and change the process a little.
We just reformed the commencement speaker selection process. We just bumped it back, and we met, all of our committee meetings with the advisory board met the semester before our senior year after we were elected junior year.
And that's sure is going to be a great day. I think
I'm
students
looking
will be
forward to it.
really excited about that.
It's going to be funny. Well, coming up on Carolina Week, new stores are coming.
Say goodbye to some local malls as we know them.
Making a can from recycled aluminum instead of from raw materials reduces air pollution by 95%. Recycle. It's the everyday way to save the world. Recycling all our Sunday papers would save over 500,000 trees a week. Recycle. It's the everyday way to save the world. Recycling a glass bottle saves enough energy to run the TV you're watching for 1 full hour. Recycle. It's the everyday way to save the world.
Hey, how you doing? I'm Nick.
I'm Drew.
I'm Justin.
And I'm Jeff.
And we're from 98 Degrees.
And we're here for RAD, recording artists, actors, and athletes against drunk driving.
We all make difficult choices each and every day.
Before you drink, make the right choice. Designate a driver.
Now, what should you do to stop a friend from driving who's been drinking? Whatever you have to, because when you drink and drive, we all lose.
Campus police confirmed that the drug gamma-hydroxybutyrate, or GHB, was found in the system of a UNC Chapel Hill student. The male freshman lives in Craig North Dorm, where he was picked up by EMS. He was driven to the emergency room of UNC hospitals, but released after 3 hours. Officials say he told EMS staff that he took 2 to 3 drops of GHB along with alcohol. Freshman Kevin Gerolamick was there for all the commotion and recently learned about GHB.
Sometimes it's used for enhancement of physical activities for sports and such, but a lot of it can do a lot of harm, can cause a coma or cardiac arrest.
Police say GHB is commonly used as a date rape drug.
A trip to North Carolina countryside might sound like a vacation, but for some UNC Chapel Hill researchers, it's work. Carolina Week's Jay Biggio travels to the state's farmland to bring us the story.
Phil Privet is the principal at Edward Best Elementary School in Franklin County. Right down the road from the school, you'll find cows, chickens, and even peacocks. Kids ride four-wheelers in open fields after school. Quite the rural setting. So, what's it like to grow up here? Privet has worked in the rural county for many years. He says many residents enjoy the comfort of the simple life.
I feel like it's a very peaceful and safe community.
And researchers want to know more about that. The Institute of Child Health and Human Development gave Carolina and Pennsylvania State University a $16.5 million grant to study children in rural areas. In North Carolina, researchers will look at child development in Wilson, Wayne, and Sampson counties. The study is aimed to help us better understand the biological, family, and community influences that affect rural children. Professor of Education Lynn Vernon Fagan says the goal of the study is to pinpoint the challenges children face.
And to really find out what are those factors in early childhood that protect children from the risks that they're going to encounter in early childhood.
The study could mean that North Carolina's rural families and communities will get the services they need, such as better health care and early childhood programs. Privet says that though his county isn't in the study, he'll be interested to hear the results from the other counties. In Chapel Hill, I'm Jade Biggio, Carolina Week.
The study will last for 5 years. Researchers will use local hospitals to help recruit 800 newborns for the study.
Few North Carolinians are taking advantage of their right to vote. Only 21% of North Carolina's 5 million registered voters participated in the primary election. In Orange County, about 18,000 people voted, and the county has more than 77,000 registered voters. Poly 42 instructor Adam Schiffer says most people don't vote because they don't think it'll make a difference. But the 2000 presidential election shows it can.
One floor of your dorm having voted one way rather than another, that would be enough to swing the entire state of Florida and the entire presidential election.
A recent example in the state Senate race is the state Senate race between candidates Ellie Kinnaird and Howard Lee. Kinnaird won by only 119 votes.
The university has won a court judgment against the owner of a pornographic website. The website uncgirls.com used campus images and pictures of nude women claiming to be UNC Chapel Hill students. The university said it was vital to take legal action against the website's owner to protect Carolina's good name.
Anytime somebody is doing something that could damage the university, we need to act both because of that individual event, but also because of any other people who might be interested in doing it in the future.
The university was awarded more than $300,000 and control of the website.
Construction is booming on the campus of UNC Chapel Hill, if you hadn't noticed. What used to be thick green trees are now tree stumps and orange netting and chain link fences. Projects include a new South Campus dorms and a bridged walkway leading to Craig Dorm. Among the biggest is Rams Head parking lot. The space is being converted into a parking deck, a recreation facility, and a student dining facility and grocery store. Elevated walkways will connect the new facilities to the Alumni Center, Morrison Dorm, and the Field House. The total project cost is estimated to be $67 million. The predicted date for completion is January 2005. South Square Mall in Durham has finally closed its doors. Construction crews will soon demolish the 27-year-old building. Sam's Club and Target are expected to take over a majority of the property. The real estate investor said he's ready to begin the excavation once the city approves the project. He says other businesses on the property won't be affected. The new stores could be open for business within 2 years. University Mall in Chapel Hill is also getting a facelift. Crews are putting on the finishing touches at several stores. A Southern Season and Eastgate Shopping Center will move to University Mall this summer. And we'll see that this summer. Right now we're starting to see some signs of fall.
Yeah, when are those leaves going to start changing, Jason?
That's right. They should be coming pretty good this year because of the drought, because of our dry seasons. And that goes along with this week's weather question, which is the factor that influences autumn leaf color is leaf pigments, length of night, weather, or all of the above. I'll be back with the answer to the weather question and the weekend forecast just after the break.
I hang out with a pretty trashy circle. The circle that helps this circle by recycling trash. We sort glass, plastic, separate cans, stack newspapers and magazines. Now, thanks to us, there are lots of products made from things we've already recycled. This cereal box wants your Sunday paper. These paper clips, in a more daring life, of 56 convertibles. The circle works like this. It starts when we recycle trash at home and at work. It's completed when we buy products made from or packaged in recycled materials. How do you know the difference? Check the label for something called post-consumer recycled content. It looks like this. Make a mental note. Then buy the highest percentage of it you can find. You'll save a tree, you'll save energy, and in your own way, you'll help save the world. Complete the circle.
Call 1-800-2-RECYCLE for your free shopping guide. Environmental Defense, finding the ways that work.
Hi, and welcome back to Carolina Week. Autumn is right around the corner, and soon we'll start seeing the leaves change. And because of the drought, we could see the leaves changing a little sooner this year. And some of our trees around campus are already starting to change, and that's mainly due to the drought. There's some different factors that affect what happens when the leaves change, and that can be with the length of the night, and that happens usually when we fall back in October. But soon coming up, Monday, September 23rd, is called the autumnal equinox, and that's when there's equal day and night. There's 12 hours for day and night. And that's going to be happening in the northern hemisphere on the 23rd this year. It changes sometimes. Sometimes it's the 21st, and sometimes it's the 22nd. If we look at our satellite map, we can see a lot of cloud cover right across here. And we have a lot of warm, moist air coming up from the Gulf of Mexico. And that's what's giving us those muggy conditions that we have right now. And we're going to see that staying with us pretty much throughout the weekend. So even though we've had lower temperatures due to the cloud cover, we're still going to have those muggy conditions. So keep that in mind if you're going to be going outside. We also have some tropical storms out. Isidore is down towards Jamaica right now, and it has winds around 60 miles per hour. That's right now. So depending on when you're watching this, things will probably have changed. But right now we're looking at the track maybe moving up towards the Gulf of Mexico, and that could cause some damage there. So we're definitely keeping an eye on that. And also Josephine is out towards the Atlantic, and that shouldn't be a problem. That's heading more towards the north. Right now we have a stationary front and a cold front that moved through. High pressure is going to be right above us, but we're still going to see those chance of scattered storms. And that happens when we have those warm afternoon temperatures and we have those warm, muggy conditions. Those cause our thunderstorms. If we look at our 4-day forecast, we can see those thunderstorms are going to be with us. Our highs are going to mainly be in the 80s. 87 on Friday, 84 on Saturday and Sunday, Monday 83, and those chance of storms are going to be staying with us. So make sure you bring your umbrella if you're going to be going out anywhere this weekend outside. If we go towards our beach, it's going to be about the same. We're going to have muggy conditions too, 78 on Saturday, 79 on Sunday, and chance of thunderstorms with lows in the upper 50s. If you're going to be going towards the mountains, it's going to be the same thing too, all over the North Carolina actually. And 85 on Saturday 80 and Sunday, and 68 is going to be our low. So we'll see that chance of thunderstorms. If you're going to be going out anywhere for fall break, or you're thinking about making some plans for fall break, go up towards the mountains, because around October, leaves get really beautiful then. And some scenic drives in North Carolina are Blue Ridge Parkway, Mount Mitchell, and Grandfather Mountain, some of those places, so definitely check those out. But does anybody have an answer to our weather question?
Brad, what do you think?
I'm going to go with A.
Actually, it's D, all of the above. All of those factor in why the leaves change. Pigment in the leaves determines what color they will have. The length of night starts the color change, and weather determines how bright the leaves will be. So warm, sunny days and cool, crisp nights seem to bring out the most spectacular colors.
All right.
Brad Broders joins us now with sports. Tell you what, Saturday night Texas game, not too pretty, but I think the students still had a lot of fun.
Yes, I think they sure did. It was we kind of got blown out in the end, but it stayed competitive. There was some reason to stay in the fourth quarter, so reason for some optimism coming up. But as we go to the break, coming up next on Carolina Week Sports, we'll examine the oft-misinterpreted sport of field hockey. We'll try to make sense of the game and the rest of Carolina Week Sports after the game.
Hey, Lena, where's yours?
When it comes to babies, appearances can be deceiving. Look at this brainwave. Very active. And this one, not doing much. You make the difference by reading, singing, and talking from birth. Studies prove it. An early start. Now that's smart.
Welcome back to Carolina Week Sports. Well, the 18th ranked Tar Heel volleyball team has lost only once this season and looked to bounce back against the Davidson Wildcats on Tuesday night. The Heels come out strong in the first game as the team handles the Wildcats 30-15. Coach Joe Segula puts in the reserves for Game 2, and they play well to take the second game 30-20. But Davidson gives the Heels a more of a challenge in Game 3. The Tar Heels have to fight, dig, and dive their way to a come-from-behind 30-28 win to seal the match 3-0. Segula is proud of how the team held together in the third game.
And in the third game, to hang tough, I think as a young group with mostly freshmen and sophomores out there, that experience of having them play and hang in there against a good team that's been winning, that's having a good season, I thought was very, very important to them, a very good experience for them to have.
Moving on to football, the Texas Longhorns rode out of town Saturday with a 58-21 victory against the Heels. So the question this week is, how will Carolina rebound from the loss? First, the team needs to improve its run defense. Texas running back Cedric Benson had a field day, gaining 208 yards on the ground. Also, the team needs to limit turnovers. The team had 2 drives that could have resulted in points, but quarterback Darian Durant threw an interception in the end zone each time. Senior Devontae Coleman and Coach John Bunning say the Heels can beat Georgia Tech. They just need to refocus during the bye week.
I think, us playing at home and then just having 2 weeks to prepare, I think we can get an edge or whatever, work on some different things during the bye week.
We're going to do our very best to regroup from this and have a couple, 3 days next week to get in our bye week to try to get ready for the rest of the season. We're a quarter of the way through. I'd love to have been 2-1. We're not, and we'll try to regroup best we can.
Well, they wear skirts, whack a ball an eighth of the size of a soccer ball, and often confuse their fans. Carolina Week investigates the rules of field hockey and tries to clear the confusion about this fast-paced game. It's a little like a lot of different sports, and not too many people are familiar with the ins and outs of field hockey.
It's not like ice hockey, but it's not like soccer, it's not like lacrosse, and so it's a really confusing sport when it comes down to it.
But have no fear, the Carolina Week Sports Academy goes undercover to unravel the mystery of field hockey and what makes fans scratch their heads.
The first question everyone asks me is why are there so many whistles? Why does the ref blow the whistle so many times?
Kind of hear this from the field. It's like, now what was that called? What was that called? I think they're really confused with how much it stops.
They don't know why the whistle's always blowing, and then they don't know why everybody gets in the goal and runs out at the ball.
Thanks, Amy. That brings us to today's Field Hockey 101 lesson. What are all those penalty corners about? You see, any foul within the penalty circle draws a corner, which starts out with the push-out. The ball is then trapped and passed to a firing teammate inside the circle. Sounds like an easy punching, right? Not so fast.
And it has to be hit on the ground. It's only allowed to be 18 inches, so it has to be from the boards on down. It has to hit the board on a straight shot.
Ah, yes, and the whistles. Those are blown for unnecessary contact against an offensive player. But field hockey isn't all about senseless aggression. This game is loaded with plenty of fluid movement.
It's a very technical game, and has a lot to do with stick skills and finesse and things like that. So you can't get away with a lot of hacking.
Field hockey doesn't seem so hard to understand now, does it? Well, the field hockey team is currently ranked number 10 on the season. They're 3-3 right now, but they have quite an upcoming weekend at home. They take on National Power Old Dominion on Saturday before playing Virginia Sunday at Henry Stadium. Well, the men's and soccer teams went on the road for 2 games last weekend. The men traveled to Rhode Island for the Adidas Brown Classic. On Saturday, Yale stunned the Heels 2-1. Down 2-0, Carolina scored with 4 minutes left in the game, but couldn't find the net again. The Heels found redemption in Game 2 against host Brown University. Senior Ryan Kneiper notched a goal and an assist in a 5-0 victory. The women had a good weekend at the Houston College Challenge. Three freshmen, Lauren Chalupny, Casey White, and Lindsay Tarpley, scored in a 4-1 win against 8th-ranked Texas A&M. Carolina took on 3rd-ranked Texas on Sunday. Tarpley scored the game-winning goal for a 3-2 victory. Carolina is now 5-0-1 on the season. Well, Lindsay Tarpley now has 5 goals in the season. She was recently named ACC Player of the Week, so she's off to a pretty good start. So, it'll be interesting to see how she does the rest of her freshman year.
All right. Thanks,
a lot,
Brett.
No problem. Appreciate that.
After the break, take a trip to a simpler way of life.
And you don't have to go far to get there.
Awaken your creativity. Do your thing at the Art School at the Art Center in Carborough.
If you have a story idea, contact Carolina Week at 843-8292. You can also visit us online at carolinaweek.org. If you have questions about this program, write Carolina Week at Campus Box 3365, UNCCH, Chapel Hill, North Carolina, 27599.
The weather's getting nice if you feel like jumping in the car for a road trip and a change of scene.
Carolina Week's Aaron Dupois shows us the answer could be only a few minutes out of town.
You don't have to ride too far out of town to feel like you've stepped into another world. Time moves just a little more slowly at Mapleview Farm, where every cow has a name and where the milk goes into glass bottles.
Remember me?
Russ Siebert is the farm manager. He says customers see the farm as more of a family setting than a business.
We're not out to make $1 million, just trying to make a living and stay in the business that we really enjoy. The funnest part probably is when you get a newborn little heifer calf. Those are nice.
This is where it all starts, with the babies. Owner Robert Nutter has been in the business a long time.
We've been milking cows since 1919. We've bred a lot of good Holstein cattle, and we've produced a lot of good quality milk.
One customer told me the secret to its taste.
They say the glass jars is what makes it so much better.
The farm was one of the area's best kept secrets until the folks here started making ice cream. Their country store opened 2 Januaries ago, and it's been swamped ever since. Any time of day, you'll find a farmhand or a 5-year-old rocking on the porch enjoying one of the homemade flavors and the view. In Orange County, I'm Aaron Dupois, Carolina Week.
That ice cream looked pretty good.
It certainly did. Do you have a favorite kind, Jenny?
I think probably mint chocolate chip.
That's not
would be
bad.
mine.
Mine's cookies and cream. I like
That's
that
a good
one.
one, too.
Well, if you're in the mood for some, go to Mapleview Farm, which is about 15 minutes north of Chapel Hill on Homestead Road.
One of Chapel Hill's most famous entertainers has died. Doug Clark from Doug Clark and the Hot Nuts died this week from a lengthy illness. He was 66.
Since 1955, fans have gathered in clubs and fraternity houses to listen to the group's beach music and risque rock and roll. Tonight, we leave you with memories of Doug Clark.
Have a good night, and thanks for joining us.
Good night.
Thank you.
Thank you.